I had some noise here and I didn't understand you. Yes. Mike class. I think weapon for Mike is similar to Akula 1. Yes, yes. Your opponent will be only submarines, so you can choose only uh, ASW weapon. Okay, I think Dragonius will not join, so we can start.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 065. Designated Sierra 1. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 149. Designated Sierra 2.
Go to depth 1000 meters. Depth control I. Go to depth 020 meters. Depth control I.
Can you tell me how deep is layer?
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing
Okay,
147. Designated Sierra 3. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 299. Designated Sierra 4.
Ow. Cobra! Sorry about that. My mic should be loud enough now. Yes, this is a new mod update for 1.42, featuring the mic class. However, I can give you a link to the mission. It is designed as a multiplayer mission, so there aren't any objectives for single player, I'm afraid. So, you'll have to do with that what you will. I'm currently playing with a mostly Polish unit. So, Seeing as how you asked, seeing as how you're a big fan as well, I know you are. There's the Comsomolets, the Mike class SSN. I'm currently coming to periscope depth to get positions. I don't know if the model has been significantly updated. It looks pretty. But yes, it's a Mike class. You have to understand, Cobra, if you don't already use Reinforced Alert 1.42, that the major changes are the Mike class, along with a few bug stomps. They have, back in 1.41, the Russian submarines got the Korund...
Control acoustics. We are cavitating.
Stand by. I need to fix that.
Set revolutions for 5 knots. Promotion
So
high.
so to give you an idea how awesome the Mike class is, I didn't start
Control
cavitating it until
acoustics.
10 knots
We
at
have
periscope
stopped
depth.
cavitating.
That's pretty righteous. Pip, I'm coming up to periscope depth now. Expect my radio mast shortly.
Okay.
Let me know when it's okay to... Are you at periscope depth yet?
I'm on Udaloy.
Ah, right, okay, so you're good. Mast
Stand
going
the
up.
radio antenna. Senior watch, aye.
Okay, the mast is raised. Link data accepted.
Okay, I see you now.
Excellent, I see you too. Stand by for 1 confirmed contact. POS sub, Thresher class. By the way, the Thresher is pilotable, Cobra, in 1.41. So, you may have missed that one.
Okay, I think it's possible.
Okay, mast is going down. I'm going to depth.
Retract the antenna.
Okay.
Senior
so,
watch, aye.
You should go maybe not very fast, but quite fast. About 12 knots to west. Okay.
Very well. Just so you know, I didn't actually start cavitating at 10 knots until about 2 meters before the surface, so I don't think I'll have a problem with that.
I didn't play Mike.
Go to
class
depth
yet, so
1000
didn't
meters.
know
Depth control
what
I.
is, what can do this boat?
Me either. I'm testing it too. I've just ordered 1,000 meters depth. Let's see what happens. The check sheet says that it's good up to 1,025 meters, so this should be fun. And we've currently got Cobra from Steelbeast Cavalry watching the live stream, so this should be fun. He was going to ask me a whole bunch of really silly questions about. I'm just kidding, Cobra. I love you. Oh yeah, yeah. Cobra.
I think you should.
The Comslet's
check,
rated for
what is
1,025 meters.
maximum depth for your weapon. I know you said 80 can be launched from 1,000 meters, but I don't know what is safe depth for squall and something.
Yeah, I think for the torpedoes I'll be okay. I'm really just going that deep so that they couldn't pause. So even if they fire at me, they will probably not assume that I can go that deep. So I'll probably go way under them. Cobra. So you get six tubes that you can fire. That's my loadout. I have squalls, USET 80s, and the starfish. Layers at 330 meters. I'm just doing this to be an asshole. This should be fun. And it wouldn't be me being in a Russian submarine without the correct attire. Rawl, the starfish is a modern sub-rock. Basically, take a torpedo, put a missile on the bottom, a missile booster on the bottom of it, and chuck your torpedo into the ocean at range. Cobra, the updates can be found on the Reinforced Alert, the Reinforced Alert page. If you just Google Dangerous Waters Reinforced Alert. You'll have it. They have their own website. You may download it directly from there. They have a changelog there as well. The major changes are to do with the Mac. Roll, that's correct. The Sea-Lance was the NATO version. The Sea-Lance was cancelled. Before that, they had the nuclear version of it. Yep. The Russians don't have a nuclear one, at least not in Dangerous Wars. So that's a thing. Alright, time to start my team, eh? Let's find this Thresher. Cause... What the hell? Ah, right. Auto cruise set on. That's fine. I'll let them chew on it for a little longer. That's right, Roll. They do. I'm not using it because I'm just not that much of a dick. Also, it's actually in the Sturgeon class. The Sturgeon class got the Subrock, the nuke one. It was period appropriate for the time. I'm just going to not use the Toad Array. It doesn't have one. Sorry, got you there. Yeah, it's it's just so nuts.
Engines ahead 2/3.
Let's go
Steering
to
eye.
speeds. We'll do a course
Rudder
change,
right,
see if I
steer
can
course
find the
3,
solution
3,
on
4.
the
Steering eye.
enemy Thresher. Just look at her D. Now we've got a lot of biologics here, so I'm thinking I may set myself a course actually to put the biologics between myself and the and Sierra 4 there. Because I'm a tactical asshole like that. Peep, just so you know, I'm changing my course to slightly southwest. I'm going to use the biologic at 0022 to hide behind Sierra 4.
Okay.
You'll also notice that we don't have bow tubes and bow sonar and conformal sonar in the mic. We have low frequency and medium frequency. Medium frequency is effectively conformal though, because it's, well, it's not very handy. Yes, Apex, and thank you for joining.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 314. Designated Sierra 5.
Sierra 5 and Sierra 4 are the same contact. I'm just monitoring them on two different sonar sets, and the theory is if I lose one, I've got the other. And also, there's the added bonus that I can use that to enhance my TMA. I'm just going to quickly... it's already done it. Look at that, Master 1. Go auto crew. You've got bigger brain cells than me. Now that I've done a course change, that should help refine the solution in the distance, which will very much help. Ooh, nice. I like to see that roll. Cobra, while I've got you on live stream, you may want to know this. Cold Waters has had numerous updates, all of which are aiming to nerf the enemy ASW, and there are numerous mods now available that allow you to play as the Soviets. I hasten to add, they haven't figured out a way to make up a Soviet campaign yet, so you may have to suspend your disbelief. You can pretend that you're a rogue Soviet captain if you wish. But firing lots and lots of shit out of the Oscar II is fun. Speaking of Oscar IIs, you'll like this. Look what I've been building. Yeah, it's a Kursk 2. That's 1/350. Some more paint work to be done, but it basically is almost done in the space of about 2 days. So I'm happy with that. And I have the Oliver Hazard Perry's getting built next. I'm going to make a build log for that one. Roll, I didn't say anything with the Oscar 3, I said the Oscar 2. There isn't an Oscar 3 to my knowledge. You could argue the case for that the Boré class is kind of an Oscar 3, but I'm not gonna comment on that. Just so you guys know, For those of you who are stepping late to the match, we've got my co-conspirator Babe, and he's handling a Udaloy. Yes, you can drive Udaloys in Reinforced Alert. Basically, if you have a terrific raging boner for Soviet ships, you should have Reinforced Alert. And if you don't, you're dead to me. You get Udaloys. There's something else you get to pilot as well, and you of course have the Bear. The 1.42 also adds in a new 3-piece campaign. I think you can have one actually, Cobra, but I don't want to promise that. You can. You now find that 1.42 also added in a 3-mission campaign for the IL-38 May, which also has just been added with a cockpit. I haven't tested it yet, so I'm just reading off of the log, the change log. So take from that as you will. Let's see if I can get myself a slightly better understanding of that Thresher class, because it started to fade. No demon. Oh well. Good news is I've got TMA going on anyway. So yeah, tonight is going to be a fairly decent Dangerous Waters-a-thon. I have about 2 or 3 hours before Mrs. Ghostegg gets home from her shift at work, and I finish mine. I have the sum of fuck but fuck next to all to do between them. So passing 590 meters. Haven't even heard a creak or a pop yet. This is great. I just love it so much. That sound in Dangerous Waters means you are about 60% of the way to crush depth. She's so pretty. I think I'm in love with the new sub. So we're starting to get hull poppings and hull creaks at 640 meters depth. I'll let you guys do the math for what that is in feet. It's a lot. I'll give you the basic skinny. There's a little under 3 feet to a meter. It's dark down there. Yep. And there ain't nothing following me down. I'm going up against a Sturgeon class and a Flight 1688. Ain't nobody touching me down here. I'm just going to be that much of an asshole. It's great. What you got? Right, let's make a course adjustment here. It's not travelling at 34 knots. It's not even capable of travelling that far, which makes it closer. Let's do more like that for now. Not quite invulnerable, Cobra, because you're gonna love this. Crazy Ivan, the guy who's writing the Reinforced Alert, and by the way, it is one guy that does this. He buffed the ADCAP's diving depth so that you could still actually theoretically get the Mike class, because without that you wouldn't actually have had a torpedo that could go that low. I'm not sure about that roll. I don't think that's allowed. Yeah, the original wired ADCAP diving depth was below 1,000 meters, so they actually had to slightly buff the ADCAP to allow it to go deep enough that you could kill the Mike. The Tigerfishes are awesome. They're ridiculously lethal. The 1.41 mod pack originally also made an amendment for Mark 37s if you want to do older stuff like the Threshers. They have a much more silent launch transient because in real life the Mark 37 wasn't pumped out of the tubes. It swam out by itself. So they're actually a lot quieter to launch, those subs as well. That's fun. Also, What else? What else has changed? Oh, you might be aware of this, Cobra. Sonoboys have make splashes in the water when you hear them. I noticed last week you were getting a lot of mad contacts. Raw, I'd say the Virginia is stealthier than the Seal Wolf, but there's no model for it in Dangerous Sports because that shit's classified. That shit's classified beyond dark. What was I going to say? Yeah. Yeah. The sonoboys, the torpedoes, all that, they actually show up on MAD sensors as well. So if you're doing a MAD pass with a helicopter or a Cobra, they'll won't just pick up sonoboys, they'll pick up torpedoes and anything that's ferrous. So you'll need to pay attention to that as well. 900 meters! Not even bothered, it's great. He's also reorganized the Naval Intelligence reference sheet. It looks tiny! Look at this! Look! Tidiness! Need to look up what active sonar looks like. There it is! All of it! It's great! No longer you can look at now the active sonar screen has a use. Observe, witness. Look. I'm being pinged by something at 1750 Hz. Oh, what does that mean? Let's have a look. So we just go to active sonar frequency 1750 VDS Moskva. I'm being pinged by my own team. No big deal. You see how awesome that is? It's great. No longer will you have to hunt through a chart or look through a manual in your book. This is true, Roll. This is true. A lot of your manual, your depth, your fancy settings are still in there. That's not a big deal, to be honest. Right. Let's make a course change and see if I can reacquire the Thresher because it's gone dark. Cobra, right there with you, buddy, right there. But I don't mind having it as a quick reference sheet. It's a little bit more environmentally friendly, and also it's always going to be up to date. I don't have to worry about paper running out. I don't have to be constant updating paper. So, last contact was about 4 minutes ago. Disappeared off the scope. That's a biologic. Sounds like shrimp. Yes, they all have their own noises. Whale song kind of sounds a little differently. That's right, a whale bowman knows a hell of a lot more about sonar than me. Alright. Let's have a look at this 3 and this thing. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Peep, I'm now travelling north towards the previous location of the of that Thresher, because I've lost it.
Okay, can you write your position?
I can do. Stand by.
Okay.
Check your chat. It's in there.
Okay, thanks.
Very well. And from there, I'm turning direct north, bearing 355. We'll say. I'll change that to direct north.
Missile from 278.
That for you would be the same bearing
Rudder right,
as
steer
the
course 0, 0,
as
0.
the
Steering
Thresher
aye.
class. So that could be something for you. Get your CWIS handy. Okay, he wants to play rough ball. Time to check the max. Check the depth. The
Steer
operating
course
depth of the
control
Starfish.
acoustics. Zero. Bearing 304. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 305.
Roll. This is the Mike class is rated for 1,025 meters in crush depth. Dangerous Waters has I think it's a 10% fudge factor, which means you can be plus or minus 10% of that figure. If you exceed that by more than 10%, you will crush. If you go between the 1,025 and up to 10% of that value, it kind of does like a imagine, if you will, it does a bit of a dice roll.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 301.
Anyway, weapons.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing
Let's do
336.
torpedoes. Nope. Let's do anti-surface missiles. SSN. Nope. Nope. Airdrops. Torpedo rockets. ASRock. Subrock. There we are. It's the Starfish, not the nuclear version I'm getting.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 336.
Got to go 150 meters now. Peep, I'm detecting multiple missile launches on the bearing of that master. It's going to get very busy for you in a moment.
Okay, but no, I didn't see any missiles from earlier and from this attack.
Well, I'm contacting multiple missile launches out from the northwest of my position. Range unknown, so something's happening. And there we are. I'm swimming along at 1,000 meters. 10 knots. Quite easy. Time to make a lot of noise.
Engines ahead flank. Steering eye.
31 knots. Godspeed, Mike. Oh, don't do this to me.
Control acoustics. Explosion. Control acoustics. Explosion.
Peep, they're hitting the units behind me.
Control acoustics. Explosion.
What kind of unit?
I think they've just attacked the Cresta and the Boris Chilikin. I'm hearing multiple explosions from their bearing. Look at the speed, and I'm already at 31 knots now. Like, that's massive acceleration. Not even cavitating. 31 knots, 1,000 meters of depth. For those of you who can't do the math, that's around about 3,000 feet depth. Okay, so that was fun. Now let's get back to more operational depth.
Go to depth 150 meters. Depth control I.
Right, let's get back to
Set
10
revolutions for 10 knots. Propulsion eye.
knots. And let's decompress this. Yeah, the Soviets definitely love their titanium. If you're the #1 supplier for the era that you're in, the fuck wouldn't you using it for?
You have on chat position on submarine.
Oh, you can detect that all the way from there. Holy crap. Okay.
It's only 22 miles, so it's not very far for me.
Fair enough. In that case then, I was turning to engage the Thresher up to the north, but I'm going to turn to that one instead. I think you can handle the Thresher.
Okay, Treasure is very far, so I think you should go to this submarine from Chad.
Yeah, I will target that one. Cobra, I am aware of that one. There is a fantastic book, if you haven't had it, which is Ben Ritchie's memoirs, called Skunkworks, and he details that, as well as the F117's invention, as well as his input on the U2 spy plane, because he worked for Lockheed Martin from about the inception of the U2 up to he was like the director of Lockheed Martin Skunkworks as the F-22 was coming into papers, which he doesn't really talk about in the book because back then it was extremely secret. If you don't have that book, go acquire it. If you need to acquire it, let me know. I have an EPUB version of it. It's a really great book. And my favourite story from that book is actually the time when he talks about how he needed to develop a pole. They had this 1/3 model of the F117 that was a wooden model, and they would do radar tests on it, like a wind model but for radar. And they needed, and it turns out that the model was so stealthy that the metal pole that their model was sitting on was messing with the readings. So Lockheed Martin had to fund and boost their money for a stealth pole. I shit you not, they had to come up with a metal pole that would not be detected by radar to hold the model up so they could do proper radar radar tests on it. Like, holy crap. Pete, do you have any idea which direction that POS sub is heading? Like if it's heading east or anything like that?
I think the sub is heading to the northeast.
I figured that. That's fine. I will. I'm plotting a course for intercepting to the northeast.
Okay.
I am sorely tempted to use the biologic as a point to drop a sub-rock. That's another variation of the same story, Cobra, yeah. There's a few other stories about them having to bribe various people when one of their SR-71 boxes was being shipped in a box, and there was a car accident involving the lorry that was carrying the freight, and they had numerous people of various organisations jump out, wave a large quantity of money at the people to not make insurance claims and make it public that a government vehicle that had no business being on that road was there in fact. So various things like that happened as well. My favourite stat about the SR-71 from that book as well is that it was designed to leak. So you would fully tank up the aircraft just before takeoff. You would watch it leak all the way up to the taxiway. You would see it take off, dripping fuel, and it would immediately run to the nearest tanker because it was running leak. They just wept fuel. Most planes, most SR-71s would have about a third of their tank remaining by the time they got on station. With their specially made tankers, they would then completely top off and burn every way up to maximum maximum altitude in operations. What then happens is at altitude, the wind resistance and the air resistance punching through the air that hard warms up the metal, the titanium metal, enough that the tanks expand and go tight. That's right, Cobra. I mean, it sounds like a real big fire risk. You say this fuel's going everywhere, and it's not that big a deal. It's still just pretty unsettling, though. Alright, let's turn around and resume the waypoint. Yeah, it's still not the sort of stuff I'd want in my hands. So, I'm going to turn around and engage the POS sub that my friend Peep has detected. Peep, do you have any idea what submarine this could be? Is this going to be a 688 or a Sturgeon?
I don't know because Sturgeon Thresher have a very similar first frequencies. It's 60. No, very similar.
Yeah. I'm very certain that the target you're attacking to the north of my position is the Thresher from the target, from the way I got the readings, and that's what I think it is. So take with that what you will. As for what I'm engaging, that means it's either the Sturgeon or the 688 Flight 1, I guess. I guess we'll find out.
Okay, maybe this is a good idea for heading to Thresher. Missile
I don't detect it.
258.
That's along my bearing. Once I get up to depth, I am going to launch a sub-rock from my position over to where you think that POS sub is. See if I can get it to speed up and run. Make it panic.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 263.
Yeah, I get that missile launch now as well, 263.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 265. Designated Sierra 6.
Well, that's my bearing. Firing point procedures. Sierra 6. Tubes 5 and 6 for the Starfish. I have to set as a submarine. Okay, run to enable. Many of them are raw. The People's the People's Liberation Army for the Navy. That's a real nasty mouthful. It's up there in terms of being really stupid with their Navy subs. They just don't like them. They're hard to maintain, to be fair. All right, need to very quickly convert. No, required. Ooh. No way. No way. No fucking way. Harry? Trafalgar.
Control acoustics. Loud explosion on the bearing of Sierra 6.
The fuck? Well, I don't know too much about the Soviet subs, but I'm always willing to figure it out. Alright, you know what? 5 nautical miles is not too far away from that distance, I don't think. Let me do some TMA on number 5. Correction, number 6. Let's get the oil crew back up and running. Let that chew on that for a wee bit. Go. Where the hell did Sierra 6 go? Holy crap. You know what? Fuck it. We can do this as well.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 338.
You can do that too.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 338.
12 kilometers. We'll do a range to enable 7 meters there, 7 nautical miles there, and do a full 10 there. So it's going to go slightly, should go slightly under and over that figure.
Go to depth 149 meters. Depth control I.
Huge amounts of saturation.
Set revolutions for 5 knots. Propulsion I.
Don't worry, Roll. You don't need to know too much about Chinese submarines. Most of them are bought from the Soviets. Were bought from the Soviets and redesignated. All right. Let's give this a shot.
Launch tube 6.
Pete,
Yes, the
I'm
Capitan.
firing 2 missiles.
Launch tube 5. Yes, the Capitan. Control acoustics. Explosion. Control acoustics. Explosion.
I'm afraid I don't know either, Roll. Sorry. What is this bullshit? What is this?
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 344. Designated Sierra 7.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, it's 50 to 100 meters. Shit. That was my fault.
Go
Yep.
to depth
Yeah, I did that.
099
I did that.
meters. Depth control I.
That explosion that was heard? More of an implosion. That's the weapons going nope. What did I fuck? How did I fuck that up? What did I do? No, it's... I followed the launch depth. Typos. Curse you.
Go to
Da-na,
depth
da, da, da,
058 meters. Depth control I.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big scrub fan, Phoenix. Don't worry about that. Peep, that thresher's making all kinds of noise in the water. 30 plus knots we're tracking it at.
Okay, I think I have a good position for another submarine from north.
Okay, go ahead. I'm getting pings from the north as well. Active intercept. So
It is my boy. My boy.
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 341.
torpedo, torpedo, torpedo. The Thresher's just launched at me, I think. I'm doing a snapshot. Right.
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 341.
Well, this is going to scare the shit out of him. You know what? Just because, fuck him. Here we go. Just fire all the tubes at the Thresher. This is going to be hilariously bad.
Launch tube 2. Yes, Captain. Launch tube 1. Yes, Captain. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normal. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Rudder right steer course 350. Steering aye.
If that doesn't make him shit his pants, I don't know what will.
Launch tube 4. Yes, Captain. Launch tube 3. Yes, Captain. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally.
Excellent.
Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 342. Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 342. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 342.
Launch countermeasures.
Sierra
Yes,
8.
Captain.
Control
Launch
acoustics.
tube 6.
Torpedo
Yes,
in the
Captain.
water. Bearing
Launch tube 5. Yes, Captain.
Rudder right steer course 100. Steering aye. Set rep.
Goal complete. Continue with your mission.
Pollutions for 31
Go to
knots.
depth,
Control
push on
acoustics.
zero,
We are
zero,
cavitating.
0 meters. Depth
Good shoot.
control.
Okay, I
Control
got the
acoustics.
you got Anne Bonny.
New contact.
That's the flight
Bearing
one down.
342. Designated Sierra 9.
Alright, I'm making a large amount of noise in the water. I'm running away from a torpedo incoming.
Okay.
Ha! Starfish away. Look at that thing go! 8,000. What? 9,000 meters in the air? The fuck? That thing's really getting hucked. NASA greets its new space satellites.
Launch
Control
countermeasures.
acoustics.
Yes,
We have
Captain.
stopped cavitating.
Excuse me.
Steer course 100.
Phoenix, I'm making a lot of noise because I'm running at 31 knots in a Mike class. I'm going to go 1,000 meters though, just to fuck with their torpedoes completely. Ain't no Mark 37 getting me. Death from above, tin can. Cause fuck you, that's why. Oh man, this is going to be right on top of what we believe to be the contact. Sweet! This guy's dropping short as well, just in case he decides to run right into it. This is going to be right on top of his freaking head though. Quick mental maths! Very good.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 061. Designated Sierra 10.
Okay, it's now time to run the fuck away.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 056. Designated Sierra 11.
So this would, I've pretty much bracketed him. If he turns towards me, he's getting a torpedo in the face. If he turns away from me, he's getting a torpedo in the face. If he turns to the side, these guys that are snaking, we'll fuck him over.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 261.
Interesting. Oh, that's heading out this way anyway, so that should go well. So we're just going to make a slight course alteration there. Splish splash. Wow, this thing's going, man. I think it's found something. I don't know, Rawl. I really don't. Sorry. I wish I could give you a better answer than that.
You have on chat position of Sturgeon.
Thank you. That's it, man. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Launch countermeasures. Yes, Capitan. Launch countermeasures. Yes, Capitan.
So, thanks to me booking it at 31 knots, I'm already at test. I'm already at maximum depth. Ain't nothing getting me down here. Rawl, I hope so too. I don't want them to rock necessarily, I just want them to behave somewhat realistically. What's 2000? Active sonar. 20,000, 20,000. Ah, that's not good. Phoenix, I'm not entirely sure what the sink depth of the US torpedoes are. I'm kind of hoping I'm under it. We can but hope. Oh, the ear rape is real. More ad caps, huh?
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 050.
Oh shit, dude. Really? They really don't like me, do they? Well, that thing's circling now. trying to go super slow and crawl along.
Set revolutions for 5 knots. Propulsion aye.
Weapon acquire. There you got something, alright. All we can do is hope that it is indeed
Control
Mr.
acoustics.
One.
Missile.
Bearing 262.
These guys have got something as well. At least I hope so, I do. They do. Aha! Let's just hope that it's not each other. Nope, they're snaking. That's fine though, because they're just going to go right in the path of this guy, force him to turn. What we got, what we got, what we got. That's a Moskva, not interested. I don't like you, what are you? That's fine, that's fine. That's not what I'm interested in either. We've got middle frequency, what is it looking a little bit less busy here? A little bit. That's my U-sets. That's the Boris Chilkin. Damn it, nothing. Nothing I really care about.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 346. Designated Sierra 1 2.
The hell is that? Active. What is pinging me from that distance? That's crazy.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 266.
Good luck, Cobra.
Designated Sierra
Have a fun.
1
Enjoy your
3.
May campaign. So I'm just going to stay low until everything disappears, and then we'll see where we're at.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 180.
That must be these guys launching. Yeah, that'll be the Chilkin and the other guy launching Azrox. That's fine, I don't mind. Ah, I wish I could totally show the truth right now. Oh man, this would be epic.
Okay, I I have a crusher.
I lost contact on him quite a while ago, but I've been going at quite some speed. I've been evading missile torpedoes, I think.
But I have
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 266.
So,
Designated
I
Sierra
will,
1-4.
write, your position.
Okay.
His position, sorry.
Have you got an updated position for the Sturgeon as well?
No, I have lost Sturgeon.
Okay.
And heading south.
Okay.
Control acoustics. Explosion. Control acoustics. Explosion. Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 305.
Launch tube 3. Yes, Capitan. Launch tube 4. Yes, Capitan.
Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally.
Launch tube 6. Yes, Capitan. Launch tube 5. Yes, Capitan.
Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally.
Launch countermeasures. Yes, Capitan.
Nothing in those racks left. That's me. That's my lot for that area. So each torpedo store actually only has a certain number of areas where you can throw things in. Right, time to boogie on out here.
Control acoustics. Loud explosion. Bearing 082.
They went for my torpedo. Oh my god, they went actually.
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 082. Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 306. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 267. Designated Sierra 15.
One torpedo from Los Angeles blown on my Nixie.
Oh wow. Well, I bet you're glad it hit your Nixie.
Yes, I have 10% of damages.
Are you hurt in it? Is there anything else that's hurt from you?
Powder Ray and Nixie.
Oh man.
Not good.
I've just launched the spread of torpedoes at the along a set of bearings, so hopefully we'll have some results shortly.
Go to depth 100 meters.
Set
Depth
revolutions
control
for
I.
15 knots. Propulsion I.
Hey Phoenix, you got to be in it to win it. You're not being paid to bring them back. Alright, let's quickly do the reference sheet on the squalls. See what their maximum launch depth is rated for.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 084. Designated Sierra 16.
Meters.
Okay, Crusher is damaged.
Excellent. Well, it won't be getting much further now.
Control acoustics.
have
New
updated,
contact.
position,
Bearing
Crusher.
307.
I will collect it from you
Designated
as soon as I
Sierra
can.
17.
Perfect. is so noisy from all these explosions. I can't find anything.
Yeah, I know, it's normal.
Set revolutions for 5 knots. Propulsion aye.
Ships 5 and 6 are empty. Nothing left in the store racks for them. Got 2 more squalls. 2 more torpedoes. I've got mines as well. I should rather not leave if I don't have to.
Set revolutions for 15 knots. Propulsion aye.
Launch countermeasures. Yes, Capitan. Rudder right steer course 299. Steering aye. Rudder right steer course 260. Steering aye.
Apex, that's the Mike class sub. There it is there.
Launch countermeasures. Yes, Capitan. 0.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 306. Designated Sierra 18. Control
It's this guy.
acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 257. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 257. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 257. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 307. Designated Sierra
Launch tube 4, yes,
19.
Capitan.
Control
Launch tube
acoustics.
3,
Missile.
yes,
Bearing
Capitan.
257. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally.
Apex, it's not a British sub, it's a Russian submarine.
Launch countermeasures, yes, Capitan.
Okay, Tracer is dead.
Yeah, yeah, I heard
Rudder
those
left,
pings.
steer course
Good shot.
100. Steering eye.
But it was not me. It wasn't me. I think it was from Cresta.
Control
Some
acoustics. New contact.
I definitely
Bearing
caused it to make a lot of noise, 'cause
311.
I've thrown a lot of
Designated
things at it
Sierra
recently.
20.
Launch tube 1, yes, Capitan. Launch tube 2, yes, Capitan.
Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics. Torpedo is running normally.
Steer course 100.
Go to depth 1000 meters. Depth control
Set
I.
revolutions for 31 knots. Propulsion I. Control acoustics. We are cavitating.
I don't even care anymore.
Launch
Control
countermeasures, yes,
acoustics.
Capitan.
Loud explosion. Bearing 189.
Thresher is dead.
Control acoustics.
Oh, yeah.
We have stopped cavitating.
We have to find where is Star John.
I'm going to go for... I've aimed some torpedoes at that reported position you gave me.
Control
Can't go that
acoustics.
far away from
New
there.
contact. Bearing 310. Designated Sierra 21.
I think he's on west from our group, naval group.
Okay. In that case then, what I would like to do then is I'd just like to quickly come up to test depth, at periscope depth, and get some updated data from you, and then you can get my information as well.
I have Sturgeon, but
Set
with,
revolutions for 5
13
knots. Propulsion eye.
control, position. And with big error.
Go to depth
14
020 meters. Depth
Sorry,
control
Pete, I
I.
didn't catch that. Say that again.
Again,
Yeah, could you say that again? I didn't quite catch it.
I have a position of Sturgeon, but with age 14 minutes and
Yeah.
error 14%.
Okay. Let's not. I don't think we should use that too much. All that really is a bearing now. We know kind of where they are roughly. It'd be a good place for you to maybe send your helicopter.
My helo is near. I will drop soon.
Yes, please. I'm going to come up to periscope depth, and I'll just wait for you to give me latest data.
Set revolutions for 10 knots. Propulsion eye.
Rudder right, steer course 240. Steering eye.
Control acoustics.
Steer
New
course
contact.
2,
Bearing
4,
304. Designated Sierra 22. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 019. Designated Sierra 23. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 250. Designated Sierra 24.
$3750. What the heck would that be? Yeah, that's all. $1750 is set briefly there. Let's have a look at that. 750 is a Moskva, once again not a factor.
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 259. Designated Sierra 25.
Okay, I have position.
Excellent. I'm 160 meters and climbing. I'm coming up to periscope depth. Hold that for me, and I can get you and you can get me a data link, and you can get my position updated as well. If you want to hit it with your helicopter, go for it.
You have on chat his position.
Yeah, thank you. Is that 46 east at the end?
I think he's going to northwest. But I'm not sure for 100%.
Okay. He's quite a far away distance. I mean, that's 20. If your position is calculated correctly, he's 22 miles from me.
Have you sub-rocks?
I've used them all. So if you want to start hitting that target with your helicopter, go for it. I will run along as quick as I can. Phoenix, I'm highting other people. I've already killed one of them. We've got another enemy in a Sturgeon class, and Pip and myself are fighting as a Udaloi, and I am fighting in the Mike class, the one that I was talking about earlier. I'm just coming up to depth because we're going to exchange data.
Extend
Control
the radio
acoustics.
antenna.
We are cavitating.
Senior watch, aye, Capitan. All masts and antennas should be
No,
retracted.
Set revolutions for 5 knots. Propulsion eye.
southeast.
Control acoustics.
Say that again.
We have stopped cavitating.
He's going to southeast, not northwest.
Very well. Alright, I should be at radar depth very shortly. You should be able to catch my radio information. Okay, there's the radio depth, and I've got your data link contact. Excellent. In fact, I see your missiles on the way as well. That's excellent. If you wish to drop torpedoes on that, you may. I'm quite far away from you. Well, I'm quite far away from the target.
I have to wait for my second helo.
Understood. Although everyone is throwing missiles at that, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's 4 sub-rocks in the air. Looks like they're going a little long. I see the AI's getting in on this.
Go to depth 400 meters. Depth control I.
Retract the antenna. Senior watch, aye.
Set revolutions for 10 knots. Propulsion I.
Oh man, so many torpedoes in the water over his head. He is not
Control
escaping.
acoustics. New contact. Bearing 247. Designated Sierra 26.
Okay, my Silex is in the water.
Yeah, I see that. There are a lot of torpedoes in that area. As long as
Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 245. Designated Sierra 27.
I'm getting so many sonar pings from that area. Well, I'm going to engage him up below the layer, just because I'm feeling like an asshole. So I think that should hurt him well.
Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 248. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 231. Designated Sierra 28. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 248. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 248. Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 249. Control acoustics.
Missile.
Bearing 248. Control acoustics. New contact. Bearing 244. Designated Sierra 29.
I would be too Phoenix if that was up to me. He's getting a lot of torpedoes dropped on his head. The whole thing is, in dangerous waters you're the weapons officer as well, so sometimes you can accidentally misconfigure. So I'm still going to be firing some torpedoes down his throat. And just because I don't know which one's which from the link data that we've been issued and what speed it's travelling at, I'll take some very simple precautions. And we'll redesignate this guy here.
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 247.
There's a lot of torpedoes in the water. Could you whittle it down a little?
Launch tube 4. Yes, Capitan. Launch tube 3. Yes, Capitan.
Okay. All the
Control
submarines
acoustics.
are dead.
Torpedo is running normal.
I
Control
also
acoustics.
launched torpedoes.
Torpedo is running normally. Control acoustics.
Oh, I've got
New
left as
contact.
mines now.
Bearing 248. Designated Sierra 30.
Oh, Gufrus is hit. He's done. We got him. That's everyone, isn't it?
this mission is very hard for U.S. Submarines because they haven't Tomahawks and they have older Mark 48.
Capitan, the radio wire has been severed.
Oops.
And Russian surface ships are specialized for ASW.
Yeah.
And they have
Control acoustics. Torpedo in the water.
assets.
Bearing 248.
Well, let's disconnect.
Okay, so thank you for game.
Oh, you're very welcome, man. Thanks for having me.
I hope we will meet again soon.
I'm sure we shall.
So, bye.
See you later, Pip. Dobry noc.
Dzięki.
Alright guys, let's have a little look at the after action report now that we're all alone now. Can't. The game crashed. Oh well. Let's not look at the after action report. Well, that was a lot of fun. The Mike class is really a lot of fun to fly, or drive, or sail, or whatever you want to call it. It works really well. It's very efficient. Can change depth pretty quickly, and its maximum speed without cavitating was ridiculous. I didn't hit cavitation depth at 10 knots until about 24 meters off the water, just above periscope depth. That's nuts. I was able to get down to 1,000 meters fairly slowly at 5 knots, but at 10 or 15 knots at a decent speed. And I don't have and I can really make use of the speed of the Mike class because it doesn't have a towed array for me to sever. So I can tool along at 31 knots. Obviously it's pretty blind, but at 1,000 meters you can be pretty sure that nobody's going to be hunting for you that low. Most people aren't going to set their torpedo floors unless they know they're dealing with a Mike who can dive that deep. And if you set your torpedoes that deep and they start coming down to your level and you think you're about to get hit, you just surface. Or you come above the layer, or you go about 300 or 400 meters up, and all of a sudden you're out of the cone of the torpedo. It's going to be you're going to have to be very smart to take on a Mike, and it's going to make and extra depth always gives you extra options. I'm a big fan of that vessel, and I think it's going to be a serious threat for a multiplayer environment and a lot of fun. That being said, I am going to do a quick. I'm going to turn the lights on and do you a quick show and tell of the submarine that I've been building, the Oscar II class, and show you a quick update on that. And then I think I'll call it for the evening because I have work tomorrow. Back in a moment. So you've got a slightly bigger image of my ugly mug now, but that allows you to also see a beautiful Oscar II as it's showing up at the moment. So we've got a lot of the detail work has been done. The doors are closed, the bow planes are out and extended. It comes with some beautiful photo etched propellers, which I'll try to get in focus, and a few little attachments that I'll also have to paint off. So all the grey bits need painted, naturally. I did the bulk of the painting in 2 sessions. These are 2 halves, so you just paint the red one and paint the black one. It's relatively easy actually if you do it that way. And then I'll do a second coat of black, just covering over these areas here. There was the option to have all the masts extended, but I don't think submarine commanders tend to sail like that unless they have to, so we'll leave it at that. We've got this little bit of detail on the front that needs it done. Once this is painted black, I'll then go over the windowed areas with just a little white, very narrow pin. I might even just take a needle, dip it in white paint, and just scribe the white in so that you get some detail areas. That's going to look awesome. And then I've got some very small decal work to do, very lightweight decal work to do along the along some of the detail areas, the rescue buoy, that kind of thing. Once that's all done, it's done. It's a very easy build. If you want to get into model making, I cannot highly recommend 1/350 scale submarines. Glue the top and the bottom half, glue the attachments and the planes on, usually glue the bridge on, and any doors, like for example for a boomer or a GN, guided missile sub. And that's about it. I mean, even the decal sheet's teeny tiny. And Hobby Boss in particular, I'll give credit to, because I did my 688 class sub with them as well. They give you a little stand that you can do, and they also give you a photo etched brass panel for the title of the vessel. That says Russian Navy K-141 Kursk. I don't particularly think that obviously it's meant to be the Kursk, but it could be any Oscar II. You could model it as, if you don't want to specifically pick the Kursk, but there's obvious reasons why the Kursk is selected most commonly, because it's got some history to it, hasn't it? If you decide to do it with all the masts up, you've got little photo etched pieces to attach, like for example for the periscope and stuff like that. I decided not to bother with that, not because I can't do this sort of stuff, I could if I needed to, but quite simply because, like I said, I think it looks better to have it in sailing condition, deep under the water. You don't have your masts up, and you certainly don't have them all up. That's a bit crazy. So yeah, there's that. I haven't even touched my Oliver Hazard Perry that I said I would do later. I figured I would leave that for a proper build log. This is getting back into doing naval vessels in a gentle stretch. So I'll send another update up into the ether once I have this fully completed. That probably won't take me long. It's like I said, it's just paint and then decal work. What I usually do is I usually end up doing 3 or 4 models worth of paint and build, and then because I hate decal work so fucking much, I'll usually just get all of them done in one go. So you'll probably have I'll have my Lightning, my my car, my A6, and now the Kursk all done in one go. I might even decide to build the Oliver Hazard Perry at that point as well, because that comes with a lovely little stand as well, so it should look great. And that's about it for me. It was great to see Cobra on the live stream. He's all and Apex, Phoenix, Rawl. You're all great to have, and I look forward to hearing from you and chatting with you some more when I do more live stream work. It's great to see. Thanks very much, and feel free to spread the channel, share it, leave some comments and some likes, all the usual stuff that people from YouTube like to tell you to do. The reason why I always I've started to figure out why people like to remind you to do that, because it does help the channel grow. I am this close to 300 subscribers. I'm 12 people away. So go ahead, just spread the virus. Until then, have a great night, guys, and I'll see you sometime after now.